the most prestigious title you can have in bass fishing is Angler of the Year. That title this year goes to Dimiki pro Bryan Thrift, who has had an unbelievable 2010, and so much of his success this year he attributes to his sponsor, Dimiki. We had to come by here and see the 2010 Angler of the Year. Bryan, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
All year long, every tournament, multiple top fives, and we're going to go through, we're going to kind of break it down throughout the year, but all year long, you get up on stage, you've talked about Dimiki has really changed your style of fishing, and it's given you a lot of success this year.
It really has. I mean, they've got some unique baits that are new to the U.S., and once people catch on to it, I'm afraid I'm not going to have an advantage anymore. But definitely this year, their baits have played a key role in my success, starting from the first event at Table Rock. I mean, at Table Rock, I'm fishing deep, fishing offshore on rocks and grass, not grass, but the rocks and the trees out 20, 25 foot deep, throwing this Mamba jig. And you can see it's got a living rubber skirt, which is really good in cold water. It's really lively, has a lot of action. The skirt's got a wire collar on it, so you don't have to worry about this pulling off. I mean, you can't pull that off of there. It's got a good sharp hook in it, a nice soft weed guard where when you're fishing that deep, you can get a good hook set on them.
All right, let's move on to Lake Norman, which, of course, home water. You took home the title there. I mean, of course, you grew up on that lake. You're notorious for skipping docks, and you do so well there, and you fish really, really fast. But you did a lot of cranking on that event.
Yes, at that event, I caught a lot of fish on the jig, but every day my bigger fish, my key fish, the 4.5, the 5-pound fish, all came on a crankbait. I'm throwing this Dimiki DC 100 crankbait. It's a square bill, shallow running crankbait. I was cranking rocks with it, cranking docks, brush piles, and this bait's got a really wide wobble to it, and when you hit the brush, it floats really high, so when you stop and get it hung in the brush, you just let go of it, quit cranking, and it will actually back out of the brush where you don't get hung. And that's where a lot of your bites happen. I mean, you're crashing this bait into the brush piles, and when you stop it and it acts like it's going to back up and try to, hey, I don't want to be here. Yeah. That's when they bite it, and that's what makes this bait really neat.
Some insider advice. All right, now let's go to Fort Loudon. The last couple events that we've had on the FLW Tour, you've talked about some new products that the public haven't even seen. We couldn't wait for you guys to finally to showcase those here at iCAST. What are some of those?
The one I caught them on at Fort Loudon is called the Hydra, and this is actually a 3-inch version. We've had the 4-inch out for 2 or 3 years now, but this little dude just came out this year, and I knew as soon as I seen it, smallmouth on the bed, that's money right there.
We're watching it in the water, and you could just the whole time that head is down on the bottom or on the rocks, wherever, it stays, that skirt just stays wide open, and it looks so real.
Yeah, that's the unique thing about this. You can tell it's the way it's molded, the tentacles won't stay together. They won't stay closed like on a tube. They want to open up. They want to be open and be lively, pick up the currents in the water and move around. And if you rig this on the Dimiki Nico rig, which is a sinker that goes in the head, you wacky rig it, and it actually crawls across the bottom like it's alive and like it's scooting around on the bottom, and those big smallmouth can't stand it. This is the Mega Mickey. It's an 11-inch worm. It's got big worm appeal, but it's also got the finesse tactics to it. You kind of got a thin tail with a little cup tail, but it's got the big fish, big bait appeal to it, where when you're fishing ledges, you're fishing at night, this is going to be a worm you want to throw. And the unique thing about it is you can see it's got a cup tail. The tail has actually got probably a 3/8 to a 1/2-inch cup in it. And when this worm's falling, the tail catches the water, and just the natural movement of the water going in and out of the cup as it falls makes the tail move side to side like that as it's falling to the bottom. And it's really unique, something the fish haven't seen before. I mean, when you get out on the ledges like Kentucky Lake, Gunnersville, everybody's throwing a big 10-inch worm with a big curly tail and stuff like that. And I think the fish get used to stuff like that. So when you come at them with a big bait that's not moving a whole lot and it's just got very subtle little movements, they really jump on it.
So all these secrets that Bryan has tried to keep hidden all year long, now they're out to the public. Finally, we can get our hands on some of these Dimiki products, and who knows, now maybe we all have a shot at 2011 Angler of the Year. Bryan, thanks a lot. Congratulations again on the title.
Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it.